Hey, I'm Jennifer with the Home Gurus of Keller Williams Realty. And if you've ever wondered about what the market's doing in DeSoto County, stay right here because we're going to break it down. Okay, so we're going to break it down. Forget all the hype. We're going to talk about DeSoto County, the biggest growth factor in North Mississippi. And I'm going to be bringing you numbers today, so hang with us, and that way you can decide where the best move is that's for you. Now, I know you're wondering, Jennifer, you work in the metro area, the Memphis metro area, so why are you breaking down DeSoto County? First, I want to tell you why, because it's really a market, a tale of two markets. So even though it's all one area, different areas are selling differently. And I want to break that down for you, okay? So let's take a look at DeSoto County and try to figure out exactly what we're seeing in the market. Let's talk numbers. First, let's start with the absorption rate. And what that means is, like, if we never listed another house on the market and we actually sold everything that was out there, in about 3.79 months, we would be completely out of inventory. Now, last year at this time, so in the last 12 months, it stayed the same. And you're asking, why was it a big deal? Well, because if you look at historically and trends, when you look at a seller's market or a buyer's market, a seller's market is anything that sells or that is under 6 months, right? So looking at the inventory, we are under 6 months of inventory, and we would say to you that DeSoto County is a seller's market. Crazy thing? It's not really. It depends on the price range, and I'm going to discuss that in a moment. So that to me is a phenomenal thing about the DeSoto County market, that we would say that we were a seller's market based on the inventory, the numbers, and yet if you look at the history, or if you're an active agent in the market, you could tell your clients that's not always true, because if you've got certain price houses, they're sitting longer, and if you're in a certain price range, you're in multiple offers. It's crazy, huh? So let's keep looking and think about it. Average list price is actually up this year over year. So like this time last year, the average list price was $391,076. And today the average list price is $407,956. So we see those numbers are higher there. Why is that important? Because I'm going to show you in just a bit what houses are selling. We've kind of talked an overall view of the numbers, but what I want to tell you a little bit about this market, which is so crazy, is let me try to give you some numbers. If you look at houses that have year over year, so remember it's October 24 to October 25, the number of houses that were sold in the 120 to 140 range this year over last year. So last year there were at least 2, and this year there were none. And as you increase, you can always see that this year there are less in the number. So like 140 to 160. In October 24, there were 14. This year there were 11. And then you get into the price ranges of 190 into 200. So in the 200 to 250 range, in October of 24, there were 50 houses sold, and in this year so far, there have been 64. And then as it continues to go up, you can see the higher numbers like 300 to 399. In October of 24, there were 277 houses and sold, and this year there are 299 houses. Hot prices or hot ranges of houses sold, and you look at the bigger numbers like 400 to 500 price range, there were 208 sold in 24 and only 167 sold in 25. So, and then 500 plus, there were 129 sold in 24 and 166 sold in 25. So it's what's really crazy. So if you are a buyer, what that means to you as a buyer is this market, we say that you can get a lot of concessions, and you can. And yet you can't. That's really funny, isn't it? So if you are looking in the 200 price range and the house looks good, it's completed, more than likely you're going to see multiple offers. What does that mean? Multiple offers means that as a buyer, your concessions are less. You're going to have to be a lot stronger on your game. You're going to have to know your numbers, what you can do. Can you go above list price? Can you pay more than list price? Can you do some kind of concessions to the seller that will allow you to get that property. Now, what we're seeing in the 300 price range, where we do the 300 to 399, is we've got new construction, and the new construction houses, the builders are given lots of incentives. So they're buying down rates permanently for 30 years. They're given closing costs. They're given buyer agent commission, though the buyer doesn't have to pay it. And they're also given agent bonuses to those buyer agents so that it will entice or help and bring buyers into that price range. And so you can get a lot of concessions in that range. So depending on what you're looking for as a buyer in this market will depend on what range you should probably look at. So 200 to 300, you're going to be in a competitive price range. So if you find a deal in that price range, it may be a house that's dated, needs some work. So keep in mind, maybe you could look at that property and do some updating. If you're going to the 300 to 400s, I would always look new construction to see what kind of rates you could get, what kind of bonuses and incentives you can get from the builder. And then anything over 500, it's a fair game. So it's a pretty decent market. Okay, wait. I know I threw out the term multiple offer and I did not tell you what a multiple offer is in simple terms. Simple terms of a multiple offer is when a seller actually gets multiple offers, I mean 2 or more offers on a property. And when they let us know, if they let us know that it is the multiple offers, they cannot tell us the terms. They can't tell us what's out there. So as a consumer, if you hear the word multiple offer, that means there's at least one more offer outside of yours on the property. And typically what the seller is looking for in that moment is what is the best net, so the most money to the seller. What is the easiest contract for the seller? What is the most convenient? And sometimes the seller may want more time to close or maybe a post-possession. So those are some things to think about when you are thinking about your offer if you hear the term multiple offer. Okay, so simple terms for multiple offer. Multiple offer means that there are other people interested in this property and have made an offer also. Okay, so what does this mean for a seller in today's market? In today's market, a seller, depending on the price range and the shape of the house, I say shape of the house, not the shape, the condition of the house, of the property, depends on the days on market, because right now we're seeing, about 100 days on the market. And if that's the case, that means there are some plus or minuses, correct? So the lower the price, the shorter the time on the market, the higher the price, probably the longer on the market. And we have seen in the past that amenities also speed up the time on market, not really the increase in price. And what do I mean by that? In the price ranges of 500 and plus, if they have outbuildings, outdoor garages, workshops, swimming pools, outdoor kitchens, those homes are likely to sell 2 times faster than ones without. Okay, there you have it. A little bit of an overview of the market in DeSoto County, days on market, average sales price, some things to expect. So tell me this, what is your favorite price range in DeSoto County? Where do you like to shop? All right, that's it. So just a little bit of information about DeSoto County and what it's doing in the market today. So if you haven't followed our channel and you'd like to keep up with the updates, please subscribe, like, and share this video. And hey, would you do me a big favor? Drop a comment below and tell me what is one of the things that you like about DeSoto County.